Hey. Hey, we have problems over here. People sitting or laying in the park.
Yeah, who are you?
I'm John McClain.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I know you don't. So we're gonna have issues for sitting and laying in the park?
This park, yes.
Why?
Because I've had numerous complaints from the Children's Museum, the school, and the police here about people leaving garbage.
And what law are you enforcing when telling people they can't lay in the park?
They can't lay in the park, so they can use the park, but they can't leave their garbage and stuff laying.
And is there a law you're enforcing in saying that?
Littering, perhaps?
Yeah, and what's the law on littering? Like how far away until it's considered littering?
Sorry, who are you?
I'm John McClain. I already told you once. Did you not remember?
Any of this to you?
Because you work for me, that's why.
I don't work for you.
Oh yeah, you are a government employee.
Everybody.
Okay, well you're a law enforcement. I just want to make sure you're enforcing the law. Not just make it up on top of your head because I think it's cute.
No, and if you keep bothering me, I may make up something to do.
Make up what?
Why are you arguing?
I'm not arguing through anything. If you're out here harassing people, I'm going to be the first person to ask you about it.
Do you think I'm harassing people?
If you're trying to enforce a law that doesn't exist, I would say so.
Here when this happened?
No, that's why I'm here asking you about it. I'm giving you your side of the story, my friend.
Well,
anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
My side of the story.
You don't.
Well, if we lay
you just
down
say
and
nothing.
get arrested because you told somebody else, they get laid down and get arrested.
I told them they're free to use the park, but we have too many complaints about people not letting their kids play here, people leaving garbage here, people defecating and urinating here. That's the problem.
But you can't
Well, complaints,
do something until you see the person do something wrong.
And complaints aren't the law. You're a law enforcement officer. You're not a complaint enforcement officer.
I had my back against the tree just like on the phone, going to my phone.
And you asked him for his ID?
Yes, he asked for my ID. I gave my $2 ID.
Sure, if you want. Unless you just want to stop messing with people, and then we don't have to worry about it. We can go as high up the line as you want.
I got up and left, right?
John McClain, yeah.
Whichever you prefer.
Both are great. Okay, you should, but okay.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
Have to know.
I mean, I don't understand if I was drinking.
No.
Okay.
No, you're just one of the many like you. There aren't too many out here like me. So you should know me. I've been fighting against you guys violating people's rights for the past year now. So
what about the rights of the families that want to let their kids run around?
If they see somebody doing actually something wrong, like defecating, then they call and arrest the person defecating.
And they've asked us to do extra patrols over them.
But you're harassing people sitting up against a tree asking them for their ID. Like, what constitutes going up to a random person?
Ma'am, I don't know who you are.
It's all right. You don't.
Can I talk to these guys? Your representative?
Go ahead.
No, I just have a question because I don't want to be sitting up against a tree and have you ask me for my ID.
You were basically wanting to find out what was going on because I talked to him. So it sounds to me like you're his representative.
No, I'm a representative.
I just want to make sure I don't have the same thing
I'm talking to you.
Sorry, go ahead. You can talk to
Both
me
of us.
first. Yeah,
Which
both
one
of
are
us.
you talking
But
Yeah, you're talking to whoever's talking to you. We're your bosses. When your boss comes up to you.
The man I can see, which is cool. You know,
Well, when it comes to making sure cops don't violate my rights, yeah, I'm the man.
Okay.
Yeah, I told him.
I just want to know what constitutes somebody coming up and a police officer asking you ask for your
Stop
ID.
interrupting me.
Okay.
I'd be glad to tell you. Okay. Because of the complaints that we've gotten about the activity and stuff going on at this park, we've started coming over and talking to more people, interviewing more people. I've actually caught 2 sex offenders over here hanging out next to a school and next to the Children's Museum. Because I have just come up and started talking to people that are laying around in the park, I caught an outstanding bank robber. Okay? We're allowed to come and talk to people.
But we don't have to give you our IDs.
Yeah, why did you ask for his ID? Was he detained? Was he under arrest?
What did I just explain to you?
Why?
When I come up and I ask people for
I'm a
identification,
suspect.
I never said you were a suspect. You're putting words into my mouth now. You're not a suspect of anything.
So if he would have said no, that would have been okay and you would have moved along?
I would have liked to have known who he was to find out.
But if he said no, would you have moved along?
If I have no reason to arrest him, I probably would have moved along.
So it's okay for people to request your...
They can. But you guys, listen. I see your Occupy Tucson badge, and I respect where you guys are coming from, okay? I've been to your website. I've looked at the stuff that you guys believe in. I believe in 95% of the exact same things that you do, okay? I'm not saying that we're against each other or anything else, all right? I was part of the ones that came in the enforcement action over at the other park last winter, and everybody that I had contact there was super cool and cooperative.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to just explain to you guys what we're doing at this park, why we're trying to contact more people, because of the complaints we had across the street from the school, from some of the employees that work around Armory Park Center. I'm not saying that Thaddeus is the cause of it. I'm not saying any specific individual is the cause of that stuff.
Are you sure? No.
I just want to make sure if people say no.
Okay, give me a second.
I just want to make sure if someone says no, you're not going to harass them further and get their license.
Unless I have probable cause to arrest them, then they've
When I have a nice day in the park, I pick stuff up.
Yeah, and I mean,
so do I. And I'm sure
I really do.
We all want to have a nice park.
Like in the Occupy, we really do appreciate what you do. We're glad we have law enforcement. But the reason why we're here is because, as you know, there's corruptions.
Yes, I agree.
There's things that need to be corrected, and we're just a watchdog making sure that happens. When we come up here, I'm not coming up and getting chest to chest with you, getting in your face. It sounded that way
at first. Okay, Mr. McLean,
well,
that's kind of how I
haven't been arrested so many times. You know, I definitely come with a chip on my shoulder.
Okay.
No question asked.
And I'm not here to...
I don't know you, so I would never have came up to you if there wasn't an incident reported to us.
Yeah, and I'm not here to try to make more argument between the two sides, okay?
Yeah.
I think any individuals, when they get a chance to talk to each other, they usually see common ground and find a happy medium. So you got to understand that I'm in a spot where I've got to respect people's rights, yes, but I also have, everybody has rights. The people that want to bring their kids here have the right to use the park without.
I've also been told by the Tucson Police Department if I wouldn't give my ID, I was riding down my bike, or I was walking, and they told me if I did not give them my ID, they would detain me. So I wanted just to kind of see if you were doing the same thing.
And I can't armchair quarterback other officers. I don't know. I mean, there's tons of traffic laws, so I don't know what the exact circumstances.
No, they were looking for a lost person.
So
you can't force me to give you my ID.
It depends.
If it's a lost person, no.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like. So what I'm saying is like, say for instance, and like I said, I wasn't there. I'm not going to armchair quarterback those officers, but.
There are no laws that make me give you my ID, though, if I'm not doing anything
unless there's
wrong.
Like a violation.
Well, if there's not a violation, you can't force me to give you my ID.
No. Or address either, right?
Or what?
Address.
Or address, no.
So, what?
I got an address over on Fort Lowe.
But you didn't tell me that. You wouldn't tell me the address. That's the problem that we started
I didn't do nothing to give you my address.
He doesn't have to give the address. You don't have to know where everybody lives.
What we're trying to do with this park.
I know how long I've been there, and everybody that live there know how long I've been there, and they'll write it down.
Okay.
But I don't want to take people to court on this. I want to have an ease mind. I hate worrying about lawsuits.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to sue people.
Well,
get them right. You know what I mean? And
let me get back to these guys. And you're right. If there's no violation whatsoever of the law, if you're not in a motor vehicle or anything like that.
My life in Sacramento. I'll tell you.
He's going to tell you about Sacramento.
Good. Yeah, we'll listen to it. What you got?
But yeah, if there's absolutely no violation of the law or anything like that, and it's not a if you're just walking down the street and there's no violation, you guys certainly have the right to continue on your way. You don't have to stop. We'll try to get consent from somebody to stop and talk to us and find out what's going on. You know, if it's middle of the night, you can articulate, bad neighborhood, middle of the night, check welfare, whatever. But you're right. There's nothing that forces somebody to give you ID if there's no violation. Okay.
Yeah, but and the main reason we came up to you, it wasn't necessarily because we're coming to beat you up. We were coming to see if there's a policy or if there's a new type of enforcement for parks that we gotta let people know, because that's pretty much what we are. We are the streamline to the homeless community to let them know how and how not to get in trouble on gray area type stuff.
What we have working currently, just so you guys know, if you want to relay this, is that across the street, that entire park area for the Children's Museum, that's all Children's Museum property.
Private property.
And they have signed a trespass letter for that property. Okay. In addition to their complaint about people hanging out and littering and all that other stuff on their property, they said that a lot of parents complain about Armory Park as well. Because on the weekends when it's busy, they'll park all along here. Most of the time, if they've come from the other side of town, the kids have been in the car for an hour, who knows how long it takes to get here, so the kids want to blow off some steam and run around a little bit as they're getting ready to go to the museum. But most of them are afraid to let their kids loose because we have so many homeless people sleeping in the park.
That's just discrimination, because just because you're homeless doesn't mean you're going to go snatch somebody's kids.
No, it doesn't. You're absolutely right.
And that's discrimination. That just coming over here because you see homeless people, that's wrong. If it was a whole bunch of people in suits, you wouldn't think 2 seconds about it.
What I'm talking about, and what I've told everybody that I contact in this park, is if you want to use the park for legitimate, if I see somebody reading a book under the tree, sitting at the bench, taking a break from a bike ride, filling a water bottle, whatever you say, go crazy. But you guys have probably been to Santa Rita Park, where there's hundreds of people down there. And many families don't even go there. When they do go there for their specific sporting events, they complain to us about people being down there. And like you said, what's that?
Yes, sir. Any chance, officer, do you have a tool set?
A tool set?
Yeah.
What kind of
pliers,
tools?
Like pliers?
I got some pliers.
Can I borrow them?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Right,
Give me
okay.
just a second.
Okay. Well,
So what we get at as far as like Santa Rita complaints and stuff, we're stuck in the middle because we don't have a law for the parks during the day. We want to enforce, or at least try to provide some feeling of safety for these families that feel unsafe. Those are their words. Okay? I'm not putting words in their mouth, because of so many homeless people that they don't know their history, they don't know their background. And like I said, having come here and done some enforcement, just in a little bit of time I've started working around the Children's Museum, I've already contacted 2 separate sex offenders hanging out over here. So parents, they're wary. The day and age now, it's not like when I was a kid, and I don't know how old you guys are, but you know what I'm saying? Back in the 70s when I was a kid, you could pretty much go
Sex
crazy.
crimes are exactly the same now, and then if you go look at statistics and how they're reported, nothing's increased besides population and density.
yeah, and what we're talking about, especially with the homeless fee in the city, and it's a big issue that our group, Occupy Public Land, fights about, it's a systematic problem. That there's a whole bunch of homeless people that only place they have to sleep during the day is in a park.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're just gonna.
Right now, and
we're just.
it's not because of lack of. I work. I try to work. You know, they just ain't nobody hiring. And then, unfortunately, the background. 9/11, they got real strict. It's hard to get apartment with my background, and it's like, wow, that's sad. But,
Yeah, and we're just trying to make sure that we both know of this systematic problem, and that you guys, especially the beat cops, aren't put in a position where they're constantly having to violate people's rights and having to, more or less do illegal stuff in order to try to fix this problem.
And the goal, please don't ever think that street cops are just out there trying to violate people's rights.
No, you follow orders just like everybody else.
You kind of walking that fine line of you want to make contact with people and you want to find out what they're up to. I mean, that's kind of what we do. We're supposed to be nosy and get into people's business. And not everybody is doing something wrong at that particular moment. So and I'm talking in general, I'm not talking about just the parks right now. Okay, I'm talking like, if you see, you have probably been around a while, and you can see when somebody's up to something.
Oh, yeah.
You can just feel it in your gut, the hair on the back of your gut. Those guys are up to something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the position that we're in, and we're paid by you to go out and find those people and enforce laws and prevent crime from happening. We don't want to be a reactionary force, but we like to be a little bit proactive and prevent stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Corporal Smith. Thank you for speaking
I
with us.
appreciate you being cool, and I'm sorry we started off a little bit.
Yeah.